Hello and welcome to this week's Mayoral video, and today we are in Inglewood and I'm joined by the Inglewood Ward Councillor, Councillor Miki Wilson. Thanks Miki for coming along today. We haven't been in Inglewood itself for a little while, but we've been other places around the Inglewood Ward. But today you suggested why not come out to the Botanical Gardens here in Inglewood. It's a really unique, quiet little spot that probably isn't that well known, but there's some great features here, Miki, that I've got a lot of history in the area, and behind us is a little dam, pond, water feature that's getting a little bit of a new lease on life in the future. What can you tell us about this little area, Miki, and why it's pretty special to the Inglewood community?
Well, these botanical gardens has been around for a long time. The lake that you mentioned actually was dug out to commemorate the Federation, and there used to be a little yacht that sailed around the lake. So there's been a group of volunteers who've been doing a lot of work here to do weeding and planting new trees, and it's a lovely little space. There's a barbecue, there's picnic tables, a little rotunda behind us. And there are toilets here. It's a really quiet little out-of-the-way space in Inglewood that I don't think many people, except for people from Inglewood, would know much about. And we've got the reservoir out the back and the horse track out the back. So the locals walk around here and love this area. We're, unlike Castlemaine and Malmesbury and Melbourne, where we had people, the botanists like von Mueller doing the botanical gardens, wasn't involved in this botanical garden, but actually did provide some seeds. And what we've got here is a Roman pine, which I believe is from some seeds that came from the Melbourne Botanical Garden back in the early 1900s, maybe the 1800s. So it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
It is beautiful. It's very unique, and not so long ago, this was the site for a significant orienteering competition over a few days hosted here in Loddon, and there was 800 odd orienteers and volunteers that made this site home, and I come out to that, and I think you were around as well, Miki, and it was a great couple of days, and it really brought this place to life. And that's one thing we've been talking about a lot, is volunteerism, and we've got the volunteer strategy out at the moment for some feedback and consultation. There's a few ways you can give some feedback to that volunteer strategy through the QR code, and you'll see that advertised, and there's also through the website. But there's a lot happening around Inglewood too, and we've got some structure planning happening between sort of the townships of Inglewood and Bridgewater. You've got a bit of an update on that at all?
Yeah, so we've been in, it's been a very thorough process. So we've got the consultants who've come in, they did their first round of community consultation, they've then formulated the structure plan, and then now the structure plans are back out with the community for consultation. The week before last we had drop-in sessions for people to look at the plans and provide feedback. These plans are not about today and tomorrow, these are about what the future of the towns might look like, the next 20, 30 years. Where do you want to expand the towns? If you're going to put housing in to, help with the housing crisis, where's the best place to put housing? Down in Bridgewater, you've got to consider that there's a river and that it floods. Out here in Inglewood, you've got this beautiful bush surrounding Inglewood. Do you want to cut the bush down and put housing there? All those sorts of questions need to be asked. Yeah. And what sort of zoning do you want? We love our agricultural farm zoning in Loddon.
We do.
Yeah. Do we want to change zoning so that we change agricultural farming zoning to rural living or to commercial zoning? It's asking all those sorts of questions. So if you haven't had a look, have a look, and provide feedback on what you think. It's really important. Have your say.
Yeah, that is right. Have your say, and we plan now for the future, like Miki's mentioned. We're planning for 10 years, 20 years down the track, and it's really positive through this area. This is one of the main growth corridors through Inglewood and Bridgewater, and you can see why people are attracted to come to these communities. And I was in the main street earlier, and there's a bit of work going on. There's plenty of people moving around. There's some great investment in a few shop fronts even in Inglewood recently, and it really brings that sort of thriving vibe and excitement back to the main street, and we like to support that where we can. So there is a lot happening, and it's got some great natural attributes like this little botanical gardens here, and obviously the river at Bridgewater, but also out the other side of your ward, Miki, at Campbell's Forest. There was a pretty significant event happened recently too.
Look, last night Campbell's Forest had the first of their supper club dinners, and the theme was Italian, and it was fantastic. Red geraniums all over the table, beautiful Italian music, and then we had beautiful platters of antipasto, and then there was chicken cacciatore and beef ragu and pasta, and it was just, and salads and potatoes, and then the desserts, which were just amazing. And I'm going to call out Judy Wilson's cassata, absolutely stunning. But apple cakes and ricotta cakes, and it was just the most fantastic food. And it was so good to see the community hall actually being used by the community. We make a lot of investments in our community halls, but are we using them? And this was just so much fun. And then the next one's going to be French, but I can't remember. I think it's in October, and it's going to be French. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be there for that. The food was glorious.
That sounds great, and we will put some pictures up on this video too, so you can enjoy what that night was, and hopefully come along to a future flavours of Campbell's Forest, we'll call it.
It was just sensational.
And we were lucky enough to have some representatives from Campbell's Forest in the council chambers recently to put forward their Campbell's Forest community plan, which is a big focus on that whole precinct, being it's a regional rural farming community. There's not a lot of infrastructure, but the hall really is that centre of that community out there.
And Dan, they've just won a Tiny Towns grant.
Yes.
And so the hall, and it's a lovely little hall, is actually going to get an outdoor area, covered over barbecue area, and amenities on the side of the hall, which the public can use. So that's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's a very, very successful little community group there, and growing, and young families coming in as well, like Serpentine. There's these young kids realising that they can, live and commute or come home to farms and things like that. It's just wonderful to see.
It is, yes. We do have a great, strong community with the next generation coming through, and it's really good to celebrate the next generation and a lot of kids through our communities. And one thing we have to mention is on Monday the 27th, the kindergarten enrolment's open. So if you're looking for a kinder placement for the 2027 kinder year, your enrolments are open now. So please don't hesitate to get online and get those enrolments in. We do have to apologise. They were delayed. They were meant to open at the start of the month, but there was a few things that had to be ironed out with the free kinder arrangements through the state government. But we're really pleased to say that enrolment's opened Monday just gone. So thank you, Miki, for being with me today,
thanks,
and thank
Dan.
you for hosting us in this great little spot here at the Botanical Gardens. We look forward to doing more mayoral videos around the Shire, and we'll be talking to our other council representatives as well. So thanks, Miki, and we'll leave it there for now, and we'll see you somewhere else
Bye.
next week.